Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's doing great out there. Thanks for tuning in. So this is, I believe, part 5 of our Reloading 38 special with the 158 grain Hornady XTP bullets and using unique powder. So it's been kind of a long project. It's taken a fair bit of time. And, you know, as it goes in the spring, you know, you're still doing indoor stuff, and then you hit summertime and you get real busy with summer. And, you know, it's just kind of the way it goes. And so in the summertime, usually I don't do a whole lot of reloading. I kind of save that for the colder months of the year. And, you know, just doing other projects and stuff. But I've still been trying to work on this when I have the time. And quite frankly, in the past month, I've not had a lot of time. I've been traveling for most of the month, so the time to do it is just simply not there. But I am working on a lot of different YouTube projects right now, so stay tuned. Lots of interesting stuff coming up. I'm getting videos out as quickly as I can. And also, too, looking at making some upgrades as well in different things. Should be getting a new iPhone soon for filming, so that's going to be cool. And some other little add-ons and features and stuff coming up. So stay with it, lots more coming. But let's talk about the last video. So we got our first loads together with unique powder. We pretty much were at the starting load that they have in the Hornady manual. And we ran into, I wouldn't really say issues. I mean, in the sense they, you know, the everything fired. And, you know, the bullets went down range and all that sort of stuff. But we had a lot of inconsistency there. So let's talk about that. One of which is I've heard this happen before, and I'll tell you straight up. 38 Special, I've reloaded tons of 9mm and other cartridges, but 38 Special, this is all new to me. So I think what it is, a lot of times when you get into a new cartridge, there's a lot of different nuances and stuff to each different cartridge, and different powders you might use. And in the case of revolver ammunition, maybe even crimping, how much you crimp, all that sort of thing. And, you know, so there's probably a lot of stuff that I don't know. And that's the whole thing. That's why I make these videos, is as I go through the process, you get to go through the process too, and kind of see what I go through and maybe learn from some of the stuff that I do, you know, so. Anyways, so it was not a successful first run. We had a lot of variation there in terms of the feet per second. We were anywhere from about 600 to 700 feet per second. And so, you know, it just, there was really no consistency there. So a couple things probably with that. One thing I've heard about before, which I don't know would be the case here, but I have heard in certain situations with certain propellants and cartridges on lighter loads and stuff, whenever a round is horizontal like this and the powder, the lighter powder charge is laying on its side, and a lot of times, depending on how the powder is kind of laying and stuff, you can get a bit of inconsistency there in terms of how it's ignited. Is that the case here? Well, I don't know. You know, you tell me. Maybe, could be, I don't know. The other thing too is unique powder. I've run into this before with 9mm and loading unique, and also too with 45 ACP. Unique does not meter all that well. I've used different powder measures for it, and due to the big flakiness of the powder, it's one of those things where you can even feel it sometimes. As you use the powder measure, it kind of like cuts perhaps, you know, some of the flakes or something. And so if you weigh out your powder charges, usually you'll see about a 0.1 grain difference bouncing around quite a lot. And you just don't get the consistency with it compared to other powder charges. So would that account for the 100 feet per second spread? I don't know. Maybe probably contribute to some of it, but you know, again, kind of up for debate. The other thing I've kind of noticed too with unique in particular is that it's a powder that you need to push it a bit more for it to actually work well. So The reasoning for that, you know, probably, I'm sure there's an answer for that. Maybe I've even seen it on the internet in the past, but off the top of my head, don't know. But it does seem to be one of those powders that doesn't really like lower powder weight charges in cartridges. From my previous experience, it seems to like to be pushed a bit more. So, you know, that said, here we are. So I've already loaded up my rounds this time, so I skipped doing any video on that. We did a crimp on them with the Lee Factory crimp die. We put a nice roll crimp on them. Basically what I did with this is I went off of their instructions, half a turn for a light crimp, and then I went about another quarter a turn. So I'm kind of halfway there between a light and heavier crimp. So, you know, again, that's one of those things with 38. It's kind of figuring out what's the best crimp to use, and then also in conjunction with these bullets. So maybe perhaps that might need a little bit of tweaking, you know, that could be part of it. And that's a lot of it, like I said with this video, is figuring all this out to get a load to work. So what I've decided to do is I've decided to go ahead and go up to 4.8. Now, again, if you weigh out the different powder charges and stuff, you're going to see a little bit of variation there between 4.8, 4.9. I noticed it kind of bouncing around a lot, so, but that's pretty much where we're at with it, somewhere in there. So what we will do is we have them all loaded up. I'll show you right here. We've got 30 that we went ahead and we loaded. So that should be more than enough to do a little bit of chronograph testing. And if that goes well, and I kind of like how it's shooting with that, then we can maybe do a little bit of accuracy testing and kind of see what it actually looks like on paper. And the one thing I'll say is this, is like, you know, with reloading, a lot of times you experiment and stuff works and sometimes stuff doesn't work out. So it's a thing where if unique is not the best powder, you know, for these bullets, and it's not really giving us a good consistent load, and we're not getting good accuracy with it, I'm more than happy to switch over to another powder. So who knows, this could end up being a 10-part series by the time we get done. Or this could work pretty well. Maybe we'll push the load a little bit more depending on how things go, and we wrap up the video next time. But you know, we'll see how it all kind of pans out. The end goal with this is to basically get to a point where we have a 38 special round with a 158 grain Hornady XTP bullet, and to have a very accurate, nice shooting target load. And that's what I'm aiming for with this. And the other thing, we have our MR73 revolver from France, one of the finest revolvers in the world. So we're using that for our testing. So if you don't know a lot about those revolvers, I might do some videos on them in the future, but you can check out Forgotten Weapons. Ian over there, he did quite a few videos on the MR73 in recent times. So pretty cool revolver. If you don't know the backstory on it, check it out. It's pretty cool. And like I said, in the future, I might end up doing a video series on these. Just kind of focused on actually living with one of these in the sense of maintaining it, owning it, shooting it, all that sort of stuff, rather than focusing on the history of it. All right, folks, so next up to the range. All right, folks, so just chilling in the chair, I thought I'd give you a chronograph view through the hoops here, so you can kind of see what it looks like. We got kind of a beautiful day today. We had about 6 inches of rain over the past 6 days, and it's just been totally overcast, no breeze, you know, 100% humidity, rain every day, which is kind of funny because we had a very dry summer. So, but now, as you can see, looks pretty good out there. Fall is on the way, so probably in a month, this view is going to look a lot different. But we got our Manurhin MR73 revolver, and we've got 30 rounds loaded up, and so we'll go ahead and get earplugs in and all that. Now the other thing is I forgot to bring my other phone, so what we'll end up doing is I'll probably shoot a string for the camera, and then I will I'll call it out. I don't know how well the microphone will pick it up, And then also too, I'll shoot another string. I won't film that, and I'll just log all the data into the Bluetooth on the phone, and you know, we'll see what we get. And I think the other thing I'm going to do today is that last time we shot paper, I think what we'll do is we'll put some rounds on the steel, and we'll see, you know, we'll see if these rounds can knock the poppers around. See how much punch they got. $737. It's a little better than last time. $659. Wow. Okay. That's a big spread. $715. $701. $690. $692. Okay. Well, folks, so where are we at with this one? Well, so the second string that I didn't put on camera, again, we had some shots that were kind of close in the 690s. I think the spread went anywhere from 675 to like 750. So, kind of as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I've run into this before with Unique. And also too that it doesn't measure through the powder measure too well. So even though I have it set up for 4.8, whenever I was weighing out different charges and stuff, you know, it always bounces around about 1/10 of a grain. And it's probably one of the most inconsistent powders that I've ever seen in terms of you know, powder measure drops with pistol powder. So it's just one of those things. I think a lot of times it just kind of depends on you know, what you're loading and kind of what your whole point of it is. Like I said back in the day with Unique, they used to load it, I know, in World War II and 45 ACP ammunition and all that. So if you're shooting it out of a Thompson submachine gun, you know, it's kind of like, who cares? You know, but really with this, what we're trying to do is we're trying to find a good, accurate load for these 158 grain Hornady bullets in 38 special. So, you know, is it a thing where these particular type of bullets, for whatever reason, you know, in 38 special, they're not the thing? Or whatever. I know 158 grain bullets, you know, they're pretty common, different types of 158 grain bullets, so I don't think that should be a problem. I think it's probably more powder related. The crimp I'm using, pretty consistent. It's kind of in between. It's kind of a medium crimp, roll crimp, and all the crimping looks pretty good on it, so I don't really think that should be the problem. So I think it's probably more powder related. And this time I saw a lot less kind of unburnt powder. And again, that's the thing I've run into with Unique before, where it seems like it wants to be pushed a little bit harder for it to kind of burn properly. Also, it could be too a primer issue. So, you know, as a lot of people have done testing with different primers and stuff, there is some differences between them. So that could possibly be a thing. These are S&B primers, and the reason why I'm using them is because, as I've mentioned in other videos, I picked them up for $16 a box back in, 7-8 years ago, whenever Cabela's brought a ton of them in. So kind of want to use them up. It's a thing where I've already primed all the brass, so it's too late for that. All the 38 brass I have, so I can't go and do CCI primers now. So maybe CCI primers would ignite unique better. That could be a possibility. And maybe this primer is not really working with unique well, so that could be an issue. So to me, right now, it's not really grooving. It's just there's too much of a spread on the velocity for me. And also, too, the accuracy has been, especially with this revolver right here. I'm pretty rusty on pistol shooting right now, but, this revolver is about as good as it gets. And it shoots some pretty accurate stuff, but it seems like the accuracy on this is a little weak. It's not what I would be looking for, like if I'm going to shoot like a USPSA or IDPA match and all that sort of thing. So I definitely want to get it a little bit tighter. So where do we go from here? Well, I think we got two options. One of which is we can push this out to the maximum load and see what we get. That's certainly an option. Probably it's worth doing that just to see what we do end up with and whether the problems kind of work themselves out, or we continue to see not the greatest accuracy or velocities on these in terms of the widespread. To me, it's just too wide. 75 feet per second, I think that's a little much. So the other option too is totally change gears. We have everything set up. We have the brass ready to go. We have the bullets. Maybe it's a thing where we need to look at another powder now. So as I said, this is a thing where I just want to come up, because I have a bunch of these bullets, and I like shooting 38 special. So it's a thing of where I do want to get this to a conclusion of where we have a very accurate, easy to shoot round that I can take to a match and have it perform very well. No reliability issues, accurate, just a good shooting all around target load. That's what I'm kind of looking for with this. And so I think that's an option too. So I think maybe that's the way to go is, number one, go ahead and load up some more with a kind of more of a max powder charge. And then if that doesn't work out, just go ahead and start researching, what other powder might work well. So if you guys out there, if you guys have some suggestions in terms of favorite powders that you like to use in 38 special, and especially if you've used these bullets before, drop me a line below. Let me know. I'm happy to hear from y'all what y'all think and all that. So coming up on the channel, we got a lot of stuff. August was pretty disruptive. Wasn't really around, doing a lot of travel and work and stuff. September looks a bit quieter, so I think I'm going to try to push a lot of videos out in September. And I've got like a whole list of stuff that I'm working on. Some of it's filmed, some of it's not, some of it's halfway there. Also too, I think I'm going to upgrade to the new iPhone 14, so we'll get some better video. And then also too, I think I'm going to upgrade microphones as well at the same time, and do that too. And also too, I'm looking at getting some lights for especially more in the winter time. To kind of brighten things up. I do have some lights, but I think I'm going to get some bigger ones as well. So believe me, I'm working hard at improving the channel and coming up with some good videos and stuff, and I appreciate you all's support. I also appreciate those that buy through the Amazon Associates link. The little commissions off of that, they help me to reinvest in the channel and keep making videos and keep putting out content, so I appreciate that. Anything in regards to this load, put a comment below. I'm always interested to hear from other folks, so stay tuned. I'm going to try to get back on this and load up some more rounds, and hopefully I can get the other video out for it here pretty soon, and we'll see where we're going with unique. Is the unique going to work, or is unique, not all that unique. And maybe we need to do something else. So we'll see how it goes. All right, see y'all soon. Bye.